Hello everyone, it's Hayden over here. As you always know, if you like my videos, you can like them and also subscribe to one of the cards that you see on the sides if you like to enjoy quality rogue content or rogue content in general sometimes. So let's begin the video. This video will be about this build. It's mainly for Mythic Plus, as you can see from the times that we choose in the spec tree, as something that is a little bit better than the Cold Blood one that I just did before. But of course, as you know, and the number said, it seems worse than the one with T and Vigor. We don't have as many energy struggles as this one, but anyway, I put Shadow Focus for popping more Anima Charge combo points. But as you know, also, First Dance is a little bit more single target damage instead of Shadow Focus. For AoE and other things, I'm going to first explain a little bit one thing. And as you know, we are here on 4 targets, so things can change a little bit if there are more targets or less, but the opener itself won't change much. So let me show you the clip and then I will explain things onwards, and after the clip I will also explain a little bit of general Mythic Plus usage of our cooldowns. So let's go. Second, over here, and you can see my face, but I'm really looking at the nether. So let's begin. Same build, same thing. You see here, Shadow Focus instead of First Dance. Now, as all of the Mythic Plus videos that I've done, you begin with a Shadow Strike. Shadow Strike, of course, with Premeditation, gives us a Slice and Dice. And if we already have a Slice and Dice, you get extra combo points. Of course, as it's the first Shadow Strike that we do in the dungeon, kind of, we won't get that. Of course, we will use now a Rupture. Why we use a Rupture there? We use that Rupture because it's the highest damaging finisher that we have, and also because we are going to Shuriken Storm anyway later. That will give us almost all of our combo points, and then of course we will lose that value because this is a 4 mob pool. If of course it's a 2 or 3, we will just Storm anyway and fill combo points. Here we use Flagellation. Why do we use Flagellation? This is for a little bit of a thing that we can do. And now we use that Rupture to get extra Flagellation stacks. You know, now we have 6. Then we go into Dance and we use this ability, that is of course the change that we have here. We use this ability called Echoing Reprimand. It Anima charges our combo points, making if we spend them on that exact combo point, they count as if we used 7, like the full bar. Now, that is of course something that we will have to play around, and we also use this inside Dance to get extra damage on the use and also to get that stack of Dance Macabre. Now here we use of course Black Powder to get another stack of Dance Macabre, and then we will use Shadow Strike to get value of our Slice and Dice and Premeditation, so we fill our combo points. And then here is the cool thing about this build. When you use Secret Technique, because of the way our tier set works, we get 4 combo points, 2 for each copy that we summon, and we summon 2 copies. So now we can use 2 finishers back to back. Of course, ignore all of the numbers. Right now there's a bug with Black Powder, but the usage itself does not change. Now, of course, we use these to get extra value. We use Shuriken Storms and Black Powders to get that. And when we finish Dance, we want to renew the first Ruptures that we did. So we are going to Rupture this. And now you saw me enter dance, to banish and do this shadow strike. Of course, because we are running premeditation, we also get a slice and dice, and we fill our combo points. We also get 30 seconds of cooldown reduction on our abilities. This being the case, that we now have access to symbols of death again. Now here we use a black powder, and then another shadow strike. You can use also a shuriken storm, it will fill combo points anyway. And here we use another black powder, and we enter dance, and we want to use, of course, again, this echoing reprimand that will fill our combo points, as you know, because we have shadow blades running right now. Then here, of course, use black powder to get another stack of Dance Macabre, and then you use secret technique. You can use symbols of death a little bit before to get more damage, but I use it for energy mainly here. And then, as you know, and as you can see, this is less energy starved than the other build. Now, let's stop with the clip and let's talk a bit about dungeons in general and things you want to just know how to play this build. It's not that difficult. As you also saw at the end of the video, we still have 2 anima charge combo points that we are going to pop eventually. We now have 30 seconds to do that. It's plenty of time to do that. If you are in an AoE situation or something like that, it may be a little bit more difficult, but you can just look at your shadow technique stacks, and just remember that for the 3 combo point you want 2 stacks, because we don't run Weapon Master, we can't RNG and mess it up. So, and for the 5 or 4 you want, of course, 3 and 4 shadow technique stacks, and you just use a backstab. If you are inside dance, you are not going to pop them unless you do a shadow strike. That depends, of course, on the number of mobs that you are. So just remember all of the basic finishing things and just have like a weak aura like I do. You can see your shadow technique procs, and it's really easy to pop them. Even in AoE situations, you just look at one number, each number is that number, you backstab. And if you want to be 100% sure, you can wait a little bit so it doesn't change and you mess up and maybe hit the combo point that you don't want. But that is kind of easy as you get used to it. Now, why would you play this build? This build has more single target than the Cold Blood one that I showed the other time, just in the previous video, but has a little bit less AoE and seems more or less in a whole dungeon slice simulation as the other T1. Of course, it will be reliably less. You can also make that little change that I talked about. Instead of first dance, use shadow focus. It lets you have less trouble with dances and things like that, and so you don't have to kind of use symbols of that something for a little bit of energy. And your finishers, of course, sometimes you also are going to get struggling in AoE to get that energy, so keep that in mind. And for single target, the same as I explained in all of the videos, you just want to pop those combo points if you can inside dance. If not, outside, it's okay. They're good value anyway. Now, this I will explain really fast something about dungeons and our cooldown usage. This video will be a bit longer because it is what it is. Echoing Reprimand is just more complicated than using T or using the other build with Cold Blood. So let's begin. As you know, the Shadow Blades interact with our combo points and with our builders, filling all of that. It also has another thing that we do more damage with our finishers and with builders, 20% as extra shadow. But the relative power of shadow blades goes up the less target you have. So if you have, for example, 2 or 3 or even a single target, you go from 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 builders to filling combo points directly. Of course, inside dance it will always be at least 2 because you will shadow strike or use shuriken storm. There are more than 3 targets, but that's still global economy. That means that in those 20 seconds you are doing more finishers than expected if you have shadow blades. Of course, that also links with our other strong cooldown, that is in this case flagellation. That, of course, as you get more combo points in those finishers, you get more mastery, it stacks sooner and it makes it stronger. So you also have to keep in mind with Echoing Reprimand. Echoing Reprimand, you kind of want to use a cooldown inside dance and then pop the points that you can somehow. It's a really low cooldown, and also when you use your banish to reset the other cooldowns, you'll have to keep also in mind. Usually you use banish, for example, if you have 30 seconds on shadow blades cooldown and you use the flagellation, you flagellation and then use banish. Of course, you want to have used your secret technique and your echoing reprimand to get value also on those. And then you have the shadow blades and 2 dances, etc., to get more value off of them. I will do a general video on how to use shadow dust in dungeons. It will be quite long. I will go through some dungeons when they are available. That will of course be when patch is already live. We know more things about everything, and I can go more in depth into our rotations and things, because other things can change. This is some kind of guidelines. So I made this video too long, but I just hope that you enjoyed the next ones.